私はエルです。
行きますよ。
それが一番大切なんだよ。
言ってる意味がわからん。
いいから聞け。僕の話を。
Welcome to another episode of DesuDesu, the Japanese study show in which I look at anime clips and the language being used within in hopes of finding cool new words, introducing a bit of grammar, and sometimes even a bit of culture. Now, in today's episode, we have a sweet old nostalgic return to the Naruto Shippuden series, where this show started. By the way, a little side note before we get into the clip. If you want to use anime to study Japanese, a highly recommended from my part show would be the whole Naruto series, all of it, because the actors who play the characters in Naruto play amazingly well. They have great voices, lovely to listen to, even if you don't understand everything they're saying. But the main thing is they speak clearly. They speak really nicely and clearly. If you want to practice your listening comprehension, if you want to hear how cool Japanese can sound, Naruto is a recommendation. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the scene. It is the scene where Sasuke, the character Sasuke, has been captured by the guy who calls himself Madara. Oh, not spoiling too much. And they have a quick little chat in which Madara is going to tell him some stuff about his brother that he does not know and perhaps at this point does not even want to know. So without further ado, let's have a look at the clip and afterwards go through it sentence by sentence and see what we can learn. So let's get it started.
少し長い話になるが、これから話すことは全て事実だ。
何を根拠に信じろと。お前は信用できない。
提示できる証拠はない。俺の話を信じるかどうかはお前が決めればいい。だが、話は最後まで聞いてもらう。
So that's the clip. Clear, well-pronounced, great Japanese. This really just shows how awesome this language sounds. So anyway, let's get into it. It starts in the beginning with
少し長い話になるが。
少し長い話になるが. So 少し means a little bit. It's a really useful word you can use in everyday conversation. A little bit. 少し. Let's say someone's going to give you something to eat and you could say 少しだけ. Just a little bit. Now he says 少し長い. 長い means long. 少し長い. A little long. 話. 話 means a talk or a story. になる means to become. So 少し長い話になる. It will become a bit of a long story. Ga is a way of saying but. It's more of a formal way of saying but. So it will become a bit of a long story, but
これから話すことは全て事実だ。
これから話すことは全て事実だ。これ means this, から means from. これから put together means from this point on, from this. これから from this point on. 話すこと。話 is a verb that means to talk, to tell, to talk. Koto means thing, but it is the abstract version of thing. It's not a physical thing you can hold in your hand. It's more like the thing of something. So, これから話すこと. The thing that I'm going to talk, to tell from now on. は the topic particle. About that. 全て事実だ. 全て means everything or all of it. Something in its entirety. 全て all of it. 事実. 事実 means truth or fact, factual. Da just means to be or is, so it's all of it true. All of it is factual.
何を根拠に信じろと。
And here we get into a bit of complicated advanced Japanese grammar because Sasuke is that cool. Sorry, I'm on the... there was a time where let's not get into that now. Anyway, 何を根拠に信じろと. So the thing that's happening here, how do I explain this best? So in order to fully understand the grammar that he's using here, you have to translate the sentence backwards. So he says 信じろと. That's the last part. So there's a verb called 信じる, and that means to believe. If you make that into the imperative form, where you order someone to do something, it becomes 信じろ, believe. It's an order. To refers to a quote. It's a particle that refers to a quote. So he's saying 信じろと. Someone is quoting, someone is saying, believe something. And in this context, it is Madara who, Sasuke feels that Madara is saying, please believe what I'm, or not please, but believe what I'm saying. So getting back to the beginning, Nani means what. Nani o, so what. Konkyo means the basis or the foundation for something. Something to base something off or in. Nani o konkyo ni. So, in what basis, on what foundation, shinjiro to, are you ordering me to believe you? So basically, on what basis should I believe anything you say?
お前は信用できない。
お前は信用できない. So dramatic. お前 means you, a very rude way of referring to someone, but in this case, it's not exactly a conversation amongst friends, so it's a totally appropriate word to use. お前は about you, 信用 means to trust, to believe or to trust something or someone. できない is the negative conjugated version of できる, which means to be able to. So 信用できない cannot trust. お前は about you 信用できない. I cannot trust you. You cannot be trusted.
提示できる証拠はない。
提示できる証拠はない. So 提示する means to present something. It's not the most common way to say present or show something. A more common word that you will actually use in real life would be 見せる, which means to show something. 見せる. 提示する. 提示できる from a few seconds ago means to be able to. So 提示できる being able to display or to show. 証拠 means proof of something. And ない means non-existent. So proof that is able to be shown is non-existent. Notice how he doesn't say I cannot. He doesn't say ore or watashi at any point. Japanese people usually don't do that. It is just from the context you're supposed to understand that they're talking about themselves. So he has no proof, nothing to prove that he's trustworthy that he can show.
俺の話を信じるかどうかはお前が決めればいい。
俺の話を信じるかどうかはお前が決めればいい. Really cool grammar here in the end. 俺の話. So, 俺 means I, no is like the S, it's possessive, so 俺の my 話, my story. を indicating the object. 信じるかどうか. 信じる means to believe. That's the verb from before. If you take a verb in its basic form and you put かどうか on it, it means whether or not that verb. So, sorry. 信じるかどうか, whether you believe or not. About that, はお前が決めればいい. お前 again means you, が indicating the subject of the sentence, so you, 決めればいい. There's a verb called 決める, which means to decide. And if you take that into the conditional, into the if form, 決めれば, if, decide, いい means good. So, お前が決めればいい. If you decide that, it would be good. So, whether or not to trust my story, it would be good if you decide it. So basically, whether you believe me or not, that's up to you.
だが、話は最後まで聞いてもらう。
だが、話は最後まで聞いてもらう。だが means but. 話 again, the story, the talk. 話は about the talk. 最後まで聞いてもらう。最後 means the end, the final part, the end. まで means until. So 最後まで until the end. Until the finish line, until the end. 聞いてもらう. I really like this grammar. So you take a verb, what it means is I will have you listen. The thing is, もらう means to receive something. And 聞く, 聞いて is the te form of 聞く, which means to listen. So if you take a verb in its te form and you put on もらう in the end, it becomes receive the action of doing that verb. So 聞いてもらう, receive the action of you listening. So because he's not asking for permission though, he's just saying, I will receive the action of you listening. And when you say it that way, it almost sounds like a threat. It sounds like the nuance is you don't really have a choice here. And fact of the matter is, at this point in the story, he could really just kill Sasuke if he wanted to. So Sasuke is in a situation where he has no choice. So, 最後まで聞いてもらう. I will have you hear I will have you hear my story until the end. That's just the way it's going to happen. There's no getting around that. So because it has that very almost threatening nature, threatening nuance to it, do be careful about using it. You could say to someone, let's say you made a terrible cookie, or you're terrible at cooking, you made some terrible food, and nobody wants to taste it. You could say, これを食べてもらう. I will have you eat this. Do you get it? So do be careful with it. You can joke around with it. That's totally cool. You'll hear in some anime, some people say stuff like 死んでもらう. Shinu means to die, and 死んでもらう. I will have you die by this maybe special attack or whatever. So a few interesting grammar points, I think. That's the end of the clip. I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, feel free to leave a like or a comment of encouragement or perhaps criticism down below. And if you have suggestions for other shows in which I might find interesting Japanese to analyze and use on the show, do leave your suggestions in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.